What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and today I'm going to be exploring the neighborhood of Corona, Queens, which is also known like Little Latin America, a pretty highly Hispanic community here in Queens by the 7 train. I'm going to make my way to Junction Boulevard to see what's going on, because it's a pretty bustling community and a lot of street food happening over there. And then I'll probably make my way to 103rd by Corona Plaza, and I'll figure where can I go next. So without further ado, join me. This is one of the regular streets outside the train station. You can see it's pretty standard, you know, like a lot of houses, a lot of things happening, you know, beautiful trees and stuff. But then once I get to Roosevelt, you're gonna see how the neighborhood changes. So I'll walk a little forward, and then all these neighborhoods are connected. You know, Jackson Heights is nearby, Woodside is nearby, then it borders with Flushing. You know, so many types of neighborhoods are not far from each other. So you're gonna walk forward, I think like a block down, that's when you're gonna see how it gets pretty busy. And it's a pretty highly densely populated neighborhood over here. You know, a lot of people that come here, working class people, and it's pretty much served by the 7 train. So once you hop in the 7 train, you're gonna see that it's jam-packed. And over here, you can see what I'm talking about. The 7 train is ahead of me. But then this is like a marathon street food going on. Got Ecuadorian food. It's pretty good too. We got more over here. This is, I think it's Ecuadorian if I'm not mistaken. Mostly Ecuadorian food, and then Roosevelt is over here that, you know, it goes all the way through Jackson Heights. So gonna make a detour to my right. Street food happening right here. You can see how bustling it is. Wow. We got pin name. Look at this. I guess during rush hour it'll get even more packed. But then one block down is Junction Boulevard, so I'll make a left and walk by the main street. 7 train line right here. Then you got the street food, street vendors. This is Junction Boulevard, so I'm gonna walk ahead and see what can I find. You see it's pretty packed. We got street vendors, business across the street. It's a little bit intense here, wow. I passed by this neighborhood, but I don't think I ever walk around this street. You see a lot of street vendors, and I think the street takes you straight to LaGuardia Airport, all the way at the end. So but yeah, when you come here, it really feels like if you're in South America or Central America. So, and it's the beauty about Queens and New York City, you know, types of neighborhoods you're gonna find all over. And across the street, they got regular stores you'll find in any neighborhood in New York. And they got Rainbow. This is in a lot of neighborhoods, Brooklyn, Bronx, everywhere you go. So you'll find everything. What's up? Friendly people over here, you know, people hustling, working pretty hard. And then they got VIM across the street, which is, they sell like pretty good sneakers for a good price. And they got a Colombian bakery across the street, and then this is 37th Avenue, which it goes all over Jackson Heights. You know, I've been around. Let me see what's happening over here if I cross the street. And Colombian bakeries, I heard they're like an adventure. Not only the food, but they sell like pastries, coffee. You know, Colombian coffee is one of the best around. This is it, what they offer. And we walk around here. And one thing about this neighborhood is that it doesn't get really like a good reputation, you know, like it's supposed to have some parts where there are like crime and gang activities happening. And it could be true, but that is in many other neighborhoods in New York City. But so far, you know, if you go for common sense and respect everybody, you should be good. So far you see, you know, everybody, they're just going on with their daily lives, friendly people there that wave at the camera, and yeah. It's like a local vibe here in New York City. I'm just walking in one of the regular streets and not much happening, just houses. And for some point it kind of resembles some of the neighborhoods like Elizabeth in New Jersey, Patterson, New Jersey. You know, most of those neighborhoods are like highly, you know, Hispanic community, but like the structure of the houses, they're built pretty same. Also, if you go to some parts of Brooklyn it looks like this. Or if you go to Richmond Hill too in Queens, it looks like this. But yeah, so far, a pretty interesting neighborhood. A lot of people, they don't get much footage, you know, but it's good to explore around. So I'm gonna walk a couple more blocks and make it back to 101st Street to see what's going on. And this is one of the regular streets. And like I say, it's spring season, but little by little, the leaves are coming out of the trees. So you can see how fast the flowers disappear and now the leaves are out. In other words, it could be like a pollen season. But today the weather is a little bit on the chillier side, but still nice, you know. I have to say it's crazy that I'm speaking English, but most of the people here to speak Spanish or other languages, so I kind of feel weird, you know. I was waving at those guys in English, but I speak Spanish too, so, you know, it's a good place for you to communicate in another language. Also, an iconic park here in Queens, Flushing Meadows Corona Park. It starts from, I think, 111, and it goes all the way to the other side to Flushing, so it kind of borders with this neighborhood, you know. So when they do the Queens Night Market, you'll see people from this neighborhood just chilling around and making like their own food and stuff. So yeah, you know, it's something that's pretty interesting. So one thing different about this neighborhood is that most of the streets are pretty tight and pretty much the buildings are like close together. Unlike other neighborhoods that you see in Queens, that they're pretty much developed, like more like separated, isolated, like the house of this one is like literally a lot of buildings close together and the streets are pretty tight. So it would be pretty bad if you own a car over here because the parking is horrendous. And now one block down is going to be 103rd Street. So I'm going to make it right. Going to walk by the train station area, and then over there should be a plaza that's called Corona Plaza. And once you walk there, there's a lot of street vendors, street food, and it's like a different vibe. I've been in that area, but I never filmed, so I'm going to walk around and see what's going on. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. Most of the neighborhood is just like houses or like buildings close together, and this is going to be 103rd Street. So when I go a block down, you're going to see a lot of business. Years ago, during the pandemic, I came here when they were doing like the outdoor dining, and I ate in a Dominican restaurant. I forgot which was the name of the restaurant, but it had an outdoor dining, but it had heating system, and it was like in the middle of the winter, so it was pretty nice and warm. I ate there, and the food was pretty good. So I'm talking about 2 years ago, so I'm gonna walk ahead and see what's going on. Yeah, here's where you start seeing all the business, you know, like money transfers, grocery stores. You'll see this in every neighborhood in New York City, even in North Jersey. Then once I go by the 7th train, like Roosevelt Avenue is gonna be crowded. But Johnson Boulevard was pretty intense, like a lot of people. Not much going on over here, but I think like a block ahead will get more interesting. So that time when I walk here, it was nighttime, but this is the daytime. So here, I can see much better in the daytime than in the nighttime. And it's like a different vibe. Like I said, the streets are pretty tight. They're not that wide. You can see they got a lot of business going on over here. And then like you're gonna see in every neighborhood in New York, barbershops, all types of barbershops. So if you need a haircut, just walk around the street and you'll find a barbershop. Just make sure they're pretty good at cutting hairs. But yeah, they got the laundromat, shoe store, you know, they even got like stores, outfits. This is like a Colombian restaurant, I think. And they got more here, clothes. And then they got more business across the street. So you see the street keeps going, 103rd Street, and it's served by the subway line too. But yeah, like I say, this is also known like Little Latin America. So, and then here they got a market, like a little grocery store with vegetables. And then here by the subway trains where it's gonna get pretty interesting. This is where you see the street vendors. Here's not as crowded as Junction Boulevard. So here we can take a better look. People doing what they gotta do to survive out here. So highly a working class community, so I like that. I think this is the local supermarket in the street. And there's more across the street. And then once I pass underneath the subway passage and I cross the street, that's where it's gonna get pretty interesting. Wow, it smells good, like the food that they're making. I think it's gonna be pretty nice once you see what's going on in Corona Plaza. And here I am heading to Corona Plaza. Hopefully they don't got no music on with the copyright, but here's where it gets pretty nice and pretty interesting. Vendors selling everything, their food, you know. Look at this, feels like you're in Latin America, literally. And then I came here a couple of years ago with some friends, and they had a deal like you buy 5 tacos for $5, so $1 each. The only trick is that it got to be the same flavor of taco. You see what's going on, they sell their products over here. And this is a little plaza. Let me show you the plaza over here. Plaza served by the 7 train. Even in the nighttime, there's a lot of people hanging out here, so pretty interesting neighborhood to walk. So if you guys want to experience like a local culture, international, and see like vendors out in the street, this is a good place for you guys to come over here. It's been a minute since I've been here, but every time I come, I love it. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I feel like this over here represents really what New York City is about. Just like Jackson Heights Diversity Plaza, Corona Plaza has its own plaza, and people just chill and hang out here. They chill, they socialize, and they're living their daily lives. Right here they got a local park, and you know, I like checking out the parks in different neighborhoods. So this is the park that serves around Corona. This is 104th, so I'm gonna walk straight to Corona Avenue and make it to 108th. Dang, even in the street, it's just a street that I pick up randomly, 104th. And look, they got supermarkets, they got a couple of restaurants. It's like I say, in Queens might be the food capital of New York City. You can never go hungry. Like every block, there is something going on, you know. There is some restaurant that might have a pretty interesting history or story. But yeah, actually this part over here looks pretty nice. This part of Corona. You know, Corona's divided by North Corona and then Corona, but this one here. So I figure a block down should be Corona Avenue. Then ahead of me should be Corona Avenue. And then when I merge, a couple of blocks down should be the Lemon Ice of Corona, which is kind of like an ice cream, like an ice shop in Corona that's pretty iconic. Like a lot of people that come here. Actually, I went last year when I was going to Queens Night Market. I went with Vern from the Poke Boys and we tried, and it was pretty good. So this is Corona Avenue. And like I say, while I walk through, there's a lot of restaurants, a lot of chicken spots, and they smell pretty good. This is the iconic Lemon Ice King of Corona. I'm not sure if it's open because of the season. Not sure if it's the season yet, but we're gonna find out what's going on here. Well, this over here is 108th Street, which a couple of years ago I walked this street from Forest Hills all the way to the end to a park where you can see literally like LaGuardia Airport. So it's a pretty interesting avenue, and it changes a lot depending on the neighborhood that you walk through. So, but I'm not gonna walk the entire length today. I'm just showing you part of the neighborhood of Corona. But yeah, pretty interesting neighborhood that I think is worth exploring. So I'm making a detour to see what's going on around here. I'll probably walk here, then merge and make another right. But so far I see some pretty nice looking apartment complex. Let me cross the street to show you the other side. This is how the street looks. Peaceful and quiet, and then they got this apartment complex over here, which are pretty nice. They don't seem like they're that old either, the buildings. But I'll walk over here, then I'm probably gonna make a right in that other street. That will take me straight down to Roosevelt Avenue. So this over here is the other side of Corona Avenue. Then over here you can see a little bit more vegetation. So, but it's like every street that I walk is different from another one, like a different vibe. But so far, you know, it's mostly like a working class community, you know. A lot of families live here, you know, kids, people from all walks of life, but mostly like a Latino community right here in Queens. So that was the end of my video exploring Corona here in Queens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.